Mmm. Yummy. Delicious. This is embarrassing, man. Do something about it.
Oui, I'm on it. No? He says it's in sync?
What do you mean it's in sync? It's a total train wreck. You gotta nudge the record. Why are both tracks moving?
That would be because you're nudging the master deck.
What do you mean master deck? I'm the master of my decks. I'm turning that sync thing off.
No.
Dude, this is house. I can't be messed. It's too fast.
Mike bought 2 turntables and a mixer, and is practicing with real vinyl while he saves up to buy a DJ software. Michelle, on the other hand, recently bought Traktor Scratch Pro, and is currently practicing with just the software. In the meantime, they got together now and then to share their gear and perform on the streets.
Dude!
Mike thinks that a real DJ must beat match with his ears. If he wants to continue spinning real records only, then he's on the right track. But if he wants to make use of beat synced effects and loops, he's better off making friends with the sync function. Michelle thinks that pushing the sync button is beat matching of the new era. Sadly, this is far from the truth. So far, there's no sync button that completes the task without error, and the perfection of syncing tracks requires orthodox DJ skills or other tweaking methods applied by the DJ. Here's how 3 commonly used DJ softwares sync tracks from hip-hop and house. The last bit you will hear is the same task done manually. All 3 did poorly with hip-hop, and the results of house were barely acceptable. One thing worth noting is how all 3 did a pretty good job of figuring out the tempo. They just failed to figure out where the beat is. The beat is the moment you would count when listening to music. In dance music, the kick drum will coincide with the musical beat at least once every 4 beats. When the beat and the drum beat coincide, the beat is exactly where the waveform of the drum beat begins. The sync function often gets this wrong. Why? That's a hard question to answer with authority, but you may be familiar with how computer softwares have a hard time figuring out where the background ends and the foreground begins, while it's so obvious to our eyes. At any rate, the sync function is having a hard time pinning this down. In the previous episode, we have learned that beat matching is analogous to a factory operator adjusting the speed of a belt conveyor so that the beats will arrive to the 2 quality check personnel at the same pace and timing. Extending the same analogy, this is what's happening when using the sync button. The line of beats goes through a computer that analyzes where the beats are located on the conveyor. The computer places markers where it analyzes the beats to beat. These markers are commonly referred to as beat grids. When the sync button is pressed, another function of the computer adjusts the speed of the conveyor so that the pace and timing of the 2 conveyors' beat grids line up. The computer does this with extreme accuracy and swiftness, far beyond what any DJ could possibly accomplish. However, all the computer does is line up the beat grids, so this doesn't guarantee that the actual beats are in perfect sync. The sync is only as good as the beat grids are. One way to perfect the sync is to do it manually in real time. Here at the factory, the operator will speed up or down the conveyor to fine-tune the sync. To use this method, the DJ must have some basic beat matching skills. Some DJs prefer this method because they can, and they'd rather not spend time prepping in the other method's way. The other way to perfect sync is to fix the beat grids beforehand. After the analysis, the DJ will check the accuracy of the beat grids and modify them if needed. With this preparation done correctly, the automatic sync will always result in perfectly synced beats. Some of you that have recently started DJing might be inclined to go the manual way, thinking you would benefit from mastering the art of beat matching at the same time. It's always a good thing to have more skill than less, but you should still fix the beat grids like the factory DJ. Many functions such as auto loop and beat jump rely on the beat grid information. You can manually beat match with bad beat grids, but a 4-beat auto loop may not sound like 4 beats. Furthermore, many effects rely on accurate beat grids. The beat matcher in Tractor, for instance, automatically quantizes to half a beat. If you have grids that are not spot on with the beats, you might be capturing a bit of unwanted sounds. Given that your track has a steady BPM, beat gridding in Tractor can be a lot easier than one might think. The two-step method to easily beat grid quantized music in Tractor. First step. After Tractor analyzes the track, erase the current beat marker if there is one, and place a new marker on the first beat. This doesn't have to be at the very beginning of the track, so do it where you can easily tell where the beat sound begins. Use the zoom function and be very precise. Next step. Continuously jump 8 beats forward by holding down the jump button. You should see a similar waveform reappearing at the exact same position or moving in either direction. If it stays in the center, beat gridding is done. If you see the waveform moving, stop the track and use the wider and narrower buttons to move the grid you currently see as close as you can get to the beginning of the beat waveform. Never touch the move to left and right buttons, because the beat marker is exactly where you want it to be. Repeat this until the waveform stops moving. Lock the track, and you're ready to go. Since Tractor generally does a pretty good job at getting the tempo right, this step should be easily completed more often than not. To be extra careful, you should mix 2 tracks you've just gridded at various points in the song, such as beginning to beginning, middle to end, and beginning to end. Did you get it, boys?
Hi, Sensei.
Okay then, let me hear it.
We love sync. We love sync. We love sync. We love sync. We love